What's up everyone, Red Eye Reviews here with 10 horror thrillers that are on physical media that are out of print. So if you have any of these or if you see any of these in the wild, consider yourself lucky. But here are 10 that I think are worth watching. Let's go.
Let's go!
First up we have Deep Rising on Blu-ray from Kino Lorber. Deep Rising is a neat little action sci-fi thriller that involves a bunch of mercenaries boarding a seemingly empty luxury liner cruise ship only to find that there's vicious tentacle monsters on board waiting to pick them off one by one. Directed by Stephen Sommers, who also directed the great 1999 The Mummy starring Brendan Fraser, Deep Rising is not very insightful or full of hidden meanings about life's great mysteries, but it is a fun action movie involving, well, tentacle monsters.
He's like, I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
Now, this movie didn't make much of a splash upon release back in 1998.
Oh, will someone please stop him?
But it does have enough 90s movie popcorn charm to win me over. And what can I say? It's just a hell of a ride. Kevin J. O'Connor, who played Benny in The Mummy, also shows up in this because it was directed by Stephen Sommers.
Deep Rising.
Next up we have Absentia on Blu-ray from Second Sight Films, one of my favorite labels. Now, Absentia is Mike Flanagan's first feature-length film from 2011, focusing on a woman whose husband has been missing for 7 years, and she is about to have him legally declared dead in absentia when her sister comes over for a visit and reignites interest in his disappearance. Her sister finds herself drawn into the mystery of the missing man and a mysterious tunnel at the end of the street that holds some secrets that will eventually unravel as the film goes on.
They declared Walter dead in 2002. I ran into him just last week.
You see me?
Left behind a son who says his dad was taken away by a monster.
It's sleeping.
Now, Absentia is not my favorite Mike Flanagan film or project by a long shot, but it is very interesting to see his indie roots and what he can do with a very low, modest budget. Now, this is a slow burn even when compared to some of his other films, but don't let that stop you. This is still something interesting enough to keep you guessing on what's going on. And again, this is very inspiring to indie filmmakers who want to make your first film. And man, this is filled with lots of dread, themes of loss, love, and, you know, just all the Mike Flanagan staples that we've come to know and love.
Danny?
Next up we have Communion on Blu-ray from Shout Factory. Now, Communion is a 90s curiosity, that's for sure. Aliens used to scare the crap out of me as a little kid, and that's thankfully mostly in part to unsolved mysteries and sightings.
At that point, it started to appear.
They had large, dark eyes, claw-like hands.
Everyone knows about unsolved mysteries, but sightings is the little hidden gem that got lost among the shuffle. Let me know in the comments below if you ever watched and love sightings. Communion stars Christopher Walken as, well, Christopher Walken. And he is dealing with what he perceives as an alien abduction.
I had some kind of a rectal probe.
Again, this is another slow burn film, but don't let that discourage you because there are lots of little things that keep you interested, like, well, for one, the big alien sequence in this, which I'm sure traumatized many a millennial kid.
Fucking millennials.
At its best, Communion is a horrific, quirky, dreamlike exploration of the 90s, aliens, which were a big topic in the 90s, and, well, Christopher Walken, who, again, just does his best at being himself.
I see you. I'm seeing someone there. I don't think I like this.
This would make a great double feature with that other 90s hidden gem, Fire in the Sky, which I'm sure most of you have heard about. I would consider Communion a close second to Fire in the Sky when it comes to depicting alien abductions as frightful and scary. And that's the thing, there is that one interesting, frightening alien sequence in this film, but the rest of this movie mostly meanders around Christopher Walken and his family and the drama that comes from him feeling like he's been abducted.
It's like I can't see anything but the inside of my own head.
This may not be everyone's cup of tea, but it is an interesting early 90s alien abduction flick. And that sequence with Christopher Walken dancing, that is not in the movie, that's an outtake, but I don't know that I could talk about this one. Yeah, I can. Next up we have Apt Pupil on Blu-ray from, well, basically Sony. Well, this one's going to trigger a lot of people because, well, this is a movie directed by Bryan Singer.
Stop him!
About not
Stop him!
taken from a novella by Stephen King.
Stop him!
Are you still with me now? Good. Brad Renfro stars as a young kid who finds out that his neighbor, Ian McKellen, has a past. Don't we all? He finds out that Ian McKellen is a Nazi in hiding, and he wants to know more. And it soon becomes an obsession, and he essentially blackmails his neighbor into telling him more about his past in order to, well, understand.
But why? But why?
I really don't want to say more about the plot because, well, frankly, YouTube probably won't let me. But this film is very hard to find, even on DVD, which is a little bit easier to find than the Blu-ray. I don't know. I can't imagine why this would be very hard to find. But yeah, if you're in for some uncomfortable thriller drama, well, Apt Pupil is for you. Next up we have The Hills Have Eyes on Blu-ray from 20th Century Fox. Well, Disney now.
But it's Disney.
Who would have thought that an early 2000s horror remake would actually end up matching, nay, exceeding the original? Which is a classic in its own right, don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong, though.
The remake from Alexander Aja of High Tension fame makes a tighter, more coherent, modern version of Wes Craven's seminal, but somewhat flawed classic film.
Boom, boom, boom.
Where's my baby?
The characters are more fleshed out, there's modern conveniences like cell phones, even the mutants are more fleshed out in this one. Which they don't just grunt like in the original, there's a little bit of motivation this time. There's a lot of great practical and CGI effects in this, and it just feels like a more rewarding remake than what we should have gotten for a early 2000s horror remake.
What's so funny? It's breakfast time.
Vastly underrated, and I know people are like clamoring for it now on the internet. Hey, should have picked it up when it was $5 like I did. Next up we have Brian De Palma's The Fury on Blu-ray from Cinema Cult, an Australian label because I had to import this. Brian De Palma already made a psychic outing with 1976's Carrie, but he returned 2 years later with a more psychic spy psychological thriller with a star-studded cast this time, including Kirk Douglas, John Cassavetes, and Amy Irving. And don't forget Bill Finley, Phantom of the Paradise himself. The plot is interesting enough, involving a psychic agency who is trying to hunt down psychics, almost like Scanners. But while this isn't Brian De Palma's best film, it is a solid thriller reminiscent of Scanners, where the CIA is hunting down psychics. But nobody does thrillers like Brian De Palma. Nobody.
Nobody!
And while there is a really great practical human explosion sequence in this film, but I gotta say Scanners did it better with the head explosion 3 years later. This film is only available from this Australian label, Cinema Cult, and as a DVD from Fox. Now, because it's Disney again, we're probably not going to get a 4K or a Blu-ray of this anytime in the near future, so I imported this. The back of this does say it's Region B only, but it will play on your Region A player. I guarantee it.
I guarantee it.
Next up we have The Last Matinee on Blu-ray from Dark Star Entertainment. Another hidden gem that got lost in the shuffle of 2020 and the
unspecified virus of unknown origin.
The Last Matinee takes place solely in a movie theater, just like Lamberto Bava's Demons.
Demons.
Although in true Giallo fashion, the killer in this isn't supernatural, it's a black leather glove killer. The cast and the director are also relatively unknown, with the director hailing from Uruguay and not Italy, despite this film's giallo influences. Like Demons, the cast are also a bunch of strangers who all meet in this movie theater to face a bigger threat. Now remember, this is a modern film, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like something out of the 70s or 80s, and it's a wonderful, very stylish love letter to Dario Argento and giallo films. Next up we have Dr. Giggles on Blu-ray from Shout Factory. Remember that guy from Dark Man who played Robert Durant? Well, that was the late great Larry Drake in his second most memorable role besides, well, this. Yes, this movie is exactly what it seems to be. There's no hiding that this is schlock. Larry Drake hamming it up with plenty of early 90s charm, not to mention plenty of medical puns.
I don't believe you had an appointment.
Get the f*** away from me.
Have a heart.
Dr. Giggles is a delectable piece of early 90s schlock horror that I can get behind. After escaping a mental institution, Dr. Giggles returns to his hometown to start picking off residents one by one. But when Jennifer, played by Holly Marie Combs, the chick from Charmed, decides to get involved, things take an interesting turn. This is recently out of print, so it was relatively easy to find up until recently. However, your mileage may vary. So kick back with a bunch of beers, some buds, and let the early 90s charm wash over you. Next up we have Enemy on Blu-ray from Lionsgate. One of Denis Villeneuve. An earlier film from the guy who made the Dune movies. Dune. Jake Gyllenhaal plays a lame college professor in Canada who sees a doppelganger of himself as an actor in a movie. He then sets down an obsessive path to figure out, well, what does it all mean?
Whoop-de-doo! What does it all mean, Basil?
I don't know, but it involves duality, obviously, cycles, and, well, spiders.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh yeah, it's also another slow burn, and everything's yellow in the film. Piss yellow. A warning to all of you who are arachnophobic, this film heavily features very frightening images of spiders. And you know, it's not much of a mystery. It's more about the characters and how he interprets and processes things.
That's good. That is fucking good.
This is recently out of print, although I am expecting A24 and Lionsgate to get together and put out some $45, $50 big box version of this that's gonna, you know, sell out in 10 minutes and become even harder than this to find. But then at least that will make people sell their copies of this, and then you can go get this on the secondary market like I did.
At least you're not bitter.
Did you fuck my wife?
Well, I definitely think I've saved the best for last, and that is Ghost in the Machine on DVD from Anchor Bay. Remember Anchor Bay? I miss those guys.
Whatever happened to those guys?
This is one of those titles that's a perfect storm of a hidden gem that's slowly gaining traction among collectors, but it's only available in this old DVD from Anchor Bay or a region-locked German Blu-ray. This is also one of the most early 90s movies I've ever seen, including old dated tech like big PCs and VR, not to mention other early 90s oddities like, well, White Boys. A serial killer ends up getting killed before killing the rest of his victims, but due to a lightning storm, he's able to possess technology like phones and computers, etc. So it sets up some pretty interesting, fun scenarios that go from, well, laughable to even more laughable. I remember seeing this on Cinemax back in the day when they used to have a free preview weekend, so I'd record every movie that came on, and this was one of the more memorable ones. If there were ever a bigger candidate for an Arrow 4K remaster, then this would be my #1 pick.
Was your daddy a thief? Because he took the stars from the heavens and he put them in your eyes.
Thanks.
If you're a horror fan or just a fan of the 90s or hidden gems in general, you're going to have a great time watching Ghost in the Machine. In fact, another film I can recommend watching with some friends and some buds and some beers, even if you had to resort to illegal methods to see it. This was originally released by 20th Century Fox back in the day, but then made its way to Anchor Bay on DVD. But because of that, I'm still going to assume it's under the 20th Century Fox banner, which means, you guessed it, Disney owns it now. so that might mean we probably won't see a Blu-ray of this, well, ever. Well, that's depressing. I do gotta say, that microwave kill in the middle of the film really messed with my brain as a kid, and I didn't trust microwaves for a long time after that. Alright, so those are 10 of my favorite out-of-print hidden gems on physical media. What are some of yours? Let me know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video, share and subscribe to the channel, and keep those eyes red, baby. See ya.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you raised in a household with no consequences?
No.
Beware of what you make fun of, you little asshole.